Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a recent pickup of mine. It's a pair of Yeezy 350 V2s. A lot of people say they're over the 350 V2. For me personally, I love the style of them. I love the comfort of them. And it's just a silhouette that I keep going back to. So I don't mind getting a new colorway of these at all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these GRANITE 350 V2s. It definitely seems like Adidas is trying to basically clear all their warehouses of all Yeezy shoes. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. It seems like so many pairs are dropping in such a short amount of time. And Yeezys are pretty expensive. These retail for $230 US, but it's not like you can grab every single pair. And I mean, even if you can, I don't know if somebody wants to up their collection by 20 Yeezys all at once. It almost feels like we keep getting Yeezy day after Yeezy day after Yeezy day. So I think people are being a little bit more selective, and too, the market is just getting oversaturated with all these all at once because of all that stuff put together, and the fact that resale in general has definitely taken a hit. So all those resellers aren't jumping in on these because they'd be taking a loss if they were. But anyhow, because of all that, it seems like these Yeezys have been really easy to pick up. I love 350 V2s. I'll probably go for the 700 in the black colorway. I forget what they call those. But I've been going for slides and foam runners as well. I got those slate marine slides already. And then today I just did the EA ship to me for another pair of slides. I forget what they're calling them, slate something or other, but it's more of a gray color. And then I also did the EA and reserved a pair of the darker MX 350 V2s. That was a low plane. But today I reserved those other slides that are in the gray color. I forget the exact name of them. And then I also reserved a pair of the 350 V2s. They're the EA through finish line, the ship to me option. But I'll have those coming. I almost ordered the static 350 V2s as well, but I'm a little bit more hesitant towards like white or really light colored 350 V2s, just because I'm always nervous that that knit upper is going to get dirt on it and then I'm not going to be able to wash it off. But anyway, all that being said, today I want to get into these GRANITE 350 V2s. This is a colorway that had my attention from way back. I saw pictures of these. It feels like a long time ago. I think everybody knew that these were coming. We just never knew when exactly we'd be getting them. But for me, it just looked like a really wearable colorway. I already have some of those other Yeezy 350 V2s with that core black stripe. And actually, I'll compare these to the color of the Salt 350 V2s, just so you can get an idea of the gray and the tone of it. Sometimes I never really know exactly what color a Yeezy is going to be until I get it in hand, and then I can say, oh, it leans more towards green or more towards tan or more towards blue. But anyhow, all that being said, we got the same 350 V2 box that we always get. It's a drawer style, so it slides out. 350 on the top, Boost labeling on the side. The tag reads Yeezy Boost 350 V2. The color is granite and core black. I tend to go up a half size and get a 10.5 in Yeezy 350 V2s. Some of them I can wear a size 10 in, but it's just safer for me to go up a half size so that I know that I've got plenty of room in them. Man, I'm feeling chatty today. Let's get to the shoes. Here they are. The GRANITE 350 V2s. I don't know why I always have such a hard time remembering what the colorways of specific Yeezys are. I think they just make them more complicated than what they need to. Like, they could have just called this gray, but it does kind of have a little hint of maybe like an olive color to it. Yeezys typically go heavy on earth tones, and it might not really come through on camera, but this is really like a greenish gray. It's just got a little hint of green to it. Like, it's not as gray as what like belugas are or anything like that. And I really feel like, looking up around the collar, it's got a hint of like olive or even like a khaki tone to it. But all that aside, I think these look great. Like I said in the beginning, I think this is a really wearable colorway. I love these black stripe Yeezy 350 V2s. I don't know if they have a name for them, but we've seen the salts and we've seen the slates. I actually just parted with the slates because they were selling for like $306 is what I listed them for, and they sold that day. But that was a much more tan colored 350 V2, and I knew that this would be leaning more towards the gray tones, and I just feel like this one for me personally is more wearable. It was close enough to the slate pair that I didn't need both of them, but I definitely think I made the right decision. I do prefer these to that slate pair, which had more of a tan tone to it. But anyhow, I just sold those for $306. I think after fees and that sort of thing on GOAT, I got like $275 for them. So I was able to buy these and put a couple bucks in my pocket, and I'm all about that. But anyhow, I really like them. My first impression, just like it is typically with 350 V2s, I love the knit. This one does have that seam going down the middle of it. And of course, it's got that black stripe that says Supply 350. People used to say that that stands for St. Pablo Loves You, but I don't know if there was ever any truth to that or not. But I don't know. I guess it could stand for all kinds of things, knowing Yeezy. But anyhow, I just think these are great looking. They're simple, but they just look good to me. So I'm digging this pair. Like I said, I parted with the Slate 350 V2, which was very similar in style to these. It was just tan with that black stripe going down the side. But I still have this Salt pair, and this one definitely looks like more of like a bluish green color than what the other ones do. This is probably still my favorite out of that series of the black stripes, but this one is pretty close behind it. I didn't realize, but I just looked these up not too long ago, and they're actually doing really good on the resale market. I remember when these dropped, they were really, really easy to get. They were sitting, I remember I did a review and people were calling them bricks and that sort of stuff, but I really, really liked them. And now it looks like they're selling for a decent amount, and the sales are pretty consistent. Like, they're not really sitting. It seems like people list them and they sell pretty quick. But I love this Salt colorway of the 350 V2, and I really just like the simplistic style of them, and I love how comfortable they are. But anyhow, you can definitely see when putting the two right by each other that this one's more blue, this one is definitely more gray. But getting into the review of these granites, I feel like even on this outsole and the midsole, you can see that hint of a tan color. Maybe I'm crazy, but it really looks like it's heavier on gray, but it's got a little undertone of like tan. Rubber on this outsole is kind of translucent, looks like it lets some light through it, and it almost gives it like a brown look or like a gum look to it whenever the light hits it. But it's a really cool color. I really like it. You've got some Boost branding here at the heel, and then of course you have all these little windows where you can see that Boost cushioning through there. And I am still a huge fan of Boost cushioning. I think it's probably one of the most comfortable cushioning systems in a shoe that you can get now. But I know a lot of people think it's too bouncy or too soft, but for me, I just love it. Feels like you're walking on clouds. But then we see that the same rubber that we have on the outsole continues up to the midsole. And I always say it when I review 350 V2s, but I love the ribs that you have on this midsole. I think whenever you look down at them, whenever you're wearing them, or when you have them on feet, I just think from the top down, that looks so nice, and it gives them such a cool silhouette to me. But you've got that same translucent rubber for the midsole, and like usual, here on the back, you can see just a little bit of contrast from the outsole rubber as it comes up and wraps up the midsole. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't, but it just looks a little bit different. It's just a little bit different of a tone, and I love it. And coming up to the upper, we can see that this knit pattern is basically exactly the same as we had on these other black stripes, but you can just faintly see little dark lines on the inside of the shoe. I'm not sure if that's coming through on camera or not, but it's almost like a really, really faint hint of like the zebras and belugas, that sort of thing, but you can just see little traces of dark lines going through there. So maybe that's coming through, maybe I just sound like I'm crazy, but I love the knit on these. It just looks really, really nice. It almost feels like a curtain or something like that, but it's nice and stretchy. And I think the fact that this upper is so stretchy and it fits like a sock, that's part of what makes these so comfortable. But I really like this gray color, and I think with the black stripe, I just think these look great. I think this is a very wearable Yeezy, and I'm glad that I got them in the collection. Like I already noted, we have that core black stripe and then Supply 350 on the side. We do have that seam running up the center, and I think that's a really nice touch as well. I always like that look. And then we also have that seam running up the heel. We have some rope style laces that match the upper of the shoe. They might be a little bit darker than the knit on the upper of the shoe, but it's a gray tannish color as well. Like all 350 V2s, this doesn't have a separate tongue. It's just like a sock, and it fits on your foot like a sock. But for this piping, I'm really seeing a lot of the tan or olive undertones on that piping, and I think that's nice. It matches the upper, but it definitely has less of a gray color to it and more of a tan or olive color to it. I always like the reflective 3 stripes that we see inside on the back here. These do not have heel tabs like some 350 V2s do. I've said before, I'm indifferent. It makes no difference to me if it has a heel tab or not, but these do not have that extra loop on the back, and I think they look nice. They look nice and clean, very simple design to them. On the right shoe, it says Yeezy and has the Adidas emblem down on it. On the left shoe, it's got that globe emblem along with more Yeezy branding down on that insole. But anyhow, that was a really quick look at these. I think they're great looking. I do like them more than the slates that I just parted with, but not quite as much as the salts. Let me know if you like these. Let me know if you're still grabbing Yeezys. I put a poll up on the channel just this morning, and it looks like about 50% of people say that they're still buying Yeezys. 30 or so percent say that they're not buying Yeezys anymore, and 20 people just said to stop talking about it. But anyhow, let me know how you feel about Yeezys. Let me know what release you're looking forward to coming up. Wave Runners are coming again. I'm not sure what price will be on them, if it'll be $260 or $300. If they're $260, I'll probably go for another pair. If they're $300, I'll probably just pass on it, because that's too much to be spending on a shoe, and I still have a pair that's really close to dead stock that I'm rocking. So anyhow, let me know what you think about these and what you think about the other Yeezy releases that are coming up. I'll have more Yeezy reviews coming. As long as they keep dropping them, I'll keep doing reviews of them. But anyhow, I appreciate you all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.